How's it going, guys? It is like July 25th or something like that. I am in my S690 here. We are frantically working on harvest equipment because it is coming in way too fast. Yesterday it was 39 degrees Celsius. Today it's 33 with a 60k wind, and those are lentils out there, and they're turning yellow, as you can see. Our grass is as brown can be. It is as dead can be. It hasn't rained in a long time, and this crop is probably 2 weeks away from harvest, like the start of it. Clearly we're at the South Farm. As you know, that we did go through all these combines last winter in our shop, so we know for the most part the combine's ready to go, but our shop is not large enough for these 50-foot headers to get in there, so the headers are what we're actually working on outside of this heat. And let me tell you, I don't know how you guys do it who live in like Australia, even southern US. I don't know how you guys survive the temperatures. Like, it's like 40 degrees Celsius outside, and I'm like melting. If it hit 50, I'm calling it sick. Like, it's like I am done. Like, I would just melt out there. I would much prefer take minus 40 Celsius. Minus 40 Celsius. I'd rather work out in that than plus 40 Celsius. I'm not a heat kind of guy. Of course, I'm Canadian, so we're winter like 7 months of the year. So, anyways, point of the video is, basically, I wanted to talk about, a big question is, and it's way easier just to do a video about it than it is to like respond to comments. I can't hardly get to all the comments. I'm way too busy. I do appreciate, though, that you guys do comment and ask questions. That's important to me. I do like to discuss agriculture. So one of the questions is, what's the main question? How do you survive? How do you survive 3 years of no crops? How do you do it? How do you survive it? You know, that's a very valid question. That's a very valid question. That's what we're going to try and answer. So, insurance is going to be the major factor. All right? It's an option to farmers to buy. It's not guaranteed. Insurance, I did a video on insurance. I'm just going to brush through it, but if you want a little more detailed video of the insurance, the different types of insurance, I already did a video of that last year. So I will put the link of that video in the description of this video. Alright, so you guys can go check that out. But basically, I'm just going to brush over it. We've got like 3 types of insurance. You've got the Saskatchewan crop insurance, which is, I do believe, a shared funding between the Canadian and provincial government. Saskatchewan's the province of where I live and farm. And we're also going to talk about subsidies in this, and this is one of the subsidies that we have. We are not a subsidized group of farmers. I know that some countries are actually guaranteed like dollars per acre. That is not a thing for us. All right, that's not a thing. We're not guaranteed anything. You make some bad decisions, you're going broke. It doesn't matter. And there's been some other questions like, well, these farms are getting so big in Western Canada that they're actually too big to fail. That's if you believe that, I've got lakefront property out here that I would sell you. All right, like I've seen 100,000 acre farms go broke. I've seen 65,000 acre farms go broke. I've seen 20,000 acre farms go broke. I've seen 1,000 acre farms go broke. There is no size. There's no too big to fail. There's no too small to fail. I've seen family farms go broke. If you make a couple bad decisions, and it can happen to anybody, including myself, or literally get caught out in droughts, or maybe political issues, and it drives down the price of grain plus a drought, you're done. All right, you're done unless you put a couple safety nets in place, and that's what we're going to talk about, is the insurance and some of the subsidies. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. So 3 types of insurance. There's the Saskatchewan crop insurance. It's supposed to be subsidized to keep the premiums low for the farmers, but that's pretty much gone to the wayside, because I can buy private insurance, which isn't subsidized, for the exact same price, and in some cases cheaper per acre. Cheaper. So subsidized to keep our insurance low is yeah. But the reason why I do believe it is there is to make sure that the reinsurers, because they are basically guaranteeing the reinsurers, if there was ever a big provincial claim, that they wouldn't go broke. So basically, you could insure yourself and know that no insurance company is going to go broke. So that's kind of worth something, I guess. And speaking of that, 2021 was where There was widespread. In fact, like even up at the North Farm, I cut 19 bushel. Remember, I cut 19 bushel canola up there. I took the Fent Ideal up there, cut 19 bushel. All right, it was widespread drought. And one of the reinsurers, and there's lots of insurance companies, reinsurers who insure that insurer. That's a thing, all right? That I barely can understand how many insurance companies it takes. But anyways, there's obviously money in insurance because the insurance companies never lose. But the reinsurer for this particular insurance company actually lost so much money that they actually pulled out. They had their fingers in lots of different insurance companies for farmers, and in 2021 they lost so much money they actually pulled out. They didn't go broke. They just like, you know what, ag isn't for us, we're done. So then you got to find more reinsurers. So anyway, that's not for me to do. That's just what I was told. Okay, that's what I was told by my insurance company. So anyways, you got your Saskatchewan crop insurance that guarantees you bushels based off your average. Your average. If you only grow 20 bushel on an average, then they'll probably guarantee you that between a 50, 60, 70, and an 80 bushel. You got 4 different options that you can choose as a farmer. So basically 70% of 20, 60% of 20, 50% of 20, which would automatically be 10 bushel. And then across over here is going to be your premium for that 50%. So they would guarantee you, if you had a 20 bushel average, they would guarantee you 50 at, say, X premium, 60 at X premium, 70 bushel or 70% of your 20, X premium, 80% of your 20, which is as high as you can go, big premium for that bad boy, for that. All right, that's the most you can get if that's your average. Now, well, Mike, what happens if you have so many bad years? Well, your average is going to come down, isn't it? Yes, it is. Your average is going to come down. Now your average is 3 bad years out of 5 because they're taking it off of 5. This isn't looking too good anymore. Now your average is only 10, let's say. I just pulled that number out, 10. Well, now your average is 10, but your premium over here for that 80 bushel, 80% of that 10 is gone. Pooh! That's not affordable. 70. That ain't affordable. 60. 50. Oh, 50 is the one. 50 looks like that's the one. I'm just kind of making fun of it, but that's how it works. They're guaranteeing you bushels, okay? Whew. Then you have more like revenue-based type insurance companies, all right? Basically, they take your average, kind of what an accountants would prepare. This is all on you, all right? This isn't your neighbor. This is how much money you're making type deal. And then they would kind of guarantee you 60-70% of that revenue. Again, for this premium. So, you keep claiming you're not making money. If you ain't making money, your average is coming down. That's how it works. And then hail insurance is the only insurance that you, the producer, gets to choose how much money per acre you want to put on. Well, Mike, I thought you said that you could just choose with the bushel insurance. We had 4 options. We had a 50, 60, 70, and 80. Yes, you can choose those coverage levels, but you don't get to choose your average, your 20 bushel average, or your 30 bushel average, or whatever your average might be. Every farm's going to have a different average. The North Farm might have a 40 bushel average. Down here might only have a 10 bushel average. You know what? You don't get to choose that. But hail insurance, you get to choose what you want to do. You'd be like, you know what? This is going to be a hail year. I don't know. I sense it in my toes. My big toe is throbbing, and that always means hail. So that is the reason why I am going to choose to put $1,000 an acre on, which is worth 3 times more than what the crop is even worth out there. And you can do that. You might have like $100 an acre premium. And in which case, if you do that, that's like going to Vegas and taking all your money and throwing it on red and hoping it works. So you better be praying for hail, man. You do that sort of thing, and it's perfectly legal. You're not doing anything wrong. You are literally just gambling, right? Perfectly legal. You'd be like, I'm putting $1,000 an acre on this bad boy, and I'm hoping for hail. Hoping for it. You can do that. It's just gambling. Why does it go to Vegas? You might have better odds, because I guarantee you the insurance company never loses. The day that you're going to put $1,000 an acre hail insurance on, most guys don't do that. Most guys are like $50 to $300. Sometimes, if you're really in a hail zone, you've been clicking hail every year, maybe you go $500 or something, right? But you can do that. But you always go to Vegas. Because the day you put that kind of hail insurance, like I just said, you ain't getting any hail. But if you don't put any hail insurance on, I guarantee you're going to take some hail. Oh, man. So those are the types of insurance that farmers can choose to buy. And it's important to talk about insurance because it's there as a safety net. We make way more money by growing a crop and harvesting it. The insurance companies are only going to guarantee you a certain percentage of what you're already been averaging. All right? And then you're going to pay this big premium to get it. Well, Mike, could you ever just go without insurance? A lot of farms do go without insurance. Those are the ones that are risking their all for the biscuits and hope that you don't have a year like this. You know, there's not every farm takes insurance. It might be 50-50 even for that matter. 50% of farms do, 50% of farms don't. But you don't have insurance, there is no safety net. The government is not coming to the rescue. You lose $2 million, which is easy to do. You lose a bunch of money. You either have that money stashed somewhere, maybe you're self-insuring. That's a thing too. Talk about self-insuring. I know farms that take X amount of dollars per acre every year when they have good crops, and they stick it over here in a little bank account. That's their bank account, all right? That's their insurance fund. So when they do hit a bad year, they're like, oh good, we got this money sitting here. We got a few $1 million sitting here, or a few $100,000 sitting here, or whatever they got in there. They got that sitting there. But a few $100,000, unfortunately, in the agriculture world does not go very far. Everything is so much money. You got drills, combines, price of land, everything's so much money. You can't hardly afford not to insure. You got to insure. But, so these insurances, I guess, these different types of insurance, they're there as a safety net, all right? No farmer ever wants to collect insurance. That is just the worst, because then you're combining no crop, and no farmer wants to combine no crop. You pour your heart and soul into that land, and you just really pray that it produces. But, so anyway, that's kind of how you survive the bad years, and you better hope you start getting some good years, because you know what happens if your average is coming down, and your premiums are coming up, and then it doesn't even pay anymore. And there is a thing, you can actually overinsure yourself. No one really talks about that, but you can actually overinsure yourself. You can be like, you know what? I am loading up with the bushel insurance. I am loading up with like the revenue insurance. I'm just using it. I'm loading up. I'm putting that $1,000 an acre of hail insurance on, and it doesn't hail. And then you get a good year. And then you have this massive insurance bills. These are just for your land. Like your produce. You got these massive bills, and you had a good crop. Maybe you had an average or better than average crop. You would probably lose money actually by the time you paid all your insurance. You would lose money. You would be having back down to a poor crop because you overinsured. So basically, rule of thumb is you insure for what you cannot afford to lose. Maybe you just need a little bit of insurance. Maybe you just kind of need to cover the fertilizer bill. You know, maybe you just need to cover the fertilizer and some of the chemical bill. Well, maybe you got lots of fertilizer out there. You need to cover some of that iron, that steel. The steel costs a lot of money per acre to run. Maybe I just want to try and hedge my bet. Maybe I just need a bit of a safety net. That's what insurance is for. No one's getting money off of insurance and making rich. That's not a thing. That is the biggest myth I've ever heard. So that's kind of how you do it. Well, Mike, talk about these subsidies, because surely, you know, you're not just surviving off insurance. You got to have some pretty crazy subsidies up there. You know, you're guaranteed something, and I think I already alluded to this, is we're not guaranteed crap. We're not guaranteed nothing. Nobody is coming to our rescue. The only subsidies that we have, if you can call them subsidies, is like I said, the Saskatchewan crop insurance is supposed to be keep the premiums low, but basically they're just there to make sure that the company, the reinsurers, don't go broke in case there's a big claim. The other one would be fuel. So if there's clear diesel, that's what it's called, clear diesel. Everyone buys clear diesel if you have a diesel truck. But farmers can buy dyed diesel, which is subsidized. Basically, it takes the carbon tax off and takes some of the tax off. That's basically what it is. You get maybe you save 30-50 cents a liter or something. So if it's $1.80 or $2 for your $1.80 for diesel, maybe you're down to $1.50 or $1.40 or whatever it is. And you can only run that in equipment. You can't run it in your trucks down the road and so on. So there is diesel. That is technically a subsidy. Another subsidy would be we don't have to. We get GST back on some of the things that we use for agriculture. So if I bought a, I don't know, I'm just gonna say a lawnmower. Okay, you buy a lawnmower, you have to pay 5% government sales tax, right? But if you bought that lawnmower to use out here in this dried off patch of desert, then you get your 5% back. You still have to pay everything up front. That's how it works. And then for the things that are agricultural use, then you get that GST, that 5%, that tax, you get that tax back. Okay, that's how that works. The other one would be, there would be like some safety nets. The federal shared governments are supposed to have safety nets, like agri-stability and, agri-recovery or whatever it all is, all this crap that they are supposed to. But that government, they've gutted those programs so bad. Yet to ever claim on them, and we're going through some of the worst droughts that, worse than the 30s. All right, they've gutted them, and then they work against each other. Finally you get yourself situated where you're in a position to, and all they're doing the same thing. They're just taking whatever your revenue was, and they're like whatever 60-70% of that revenue, and then they have another factor, and then they're like they just freaking gut it so much. There's hardly anything worth it, and then so then all of a sudden you get yourself in a position like you get all these dry years. You're like, yeah, finally, for the first time out of 70 years, that you might actually get something that you pay into. Then you get this revenue insurance pays you, and then they're like, oh no, you're good. You're that other insurance company, it bumped you up, so we're out, and then you don't pay anyway. It's an absolute joke. It's an absolute joke. Trudeau has no idea about agriculture. Absolutely no idea. In fact, there was even one point in time, and don't make this up, that he was actually poking fun and making fun of farmers. And at the time, it was our provincial leader, not the one that we currently have, was actually stood up and be like, actually, these aren't just farmers. These are your farmers. We are Canadians. We're not Saskatchewan, just people from Saskatchewan. We're Canadians. Like just ignorance of them. Just making fun of us. Like, no idea. Just clueless. Thinks all of his food comes from Costco, honestly. But that's a whole other video. We're not going to get into that embarrassment. So that's basically the deal. Those are our big subsidies, I guess. I guess there is some other jobs or grants, like if you wanted to drill a deep well, or you want to improve, clean energy, or if you want to dig a dugout for cattle or something, you can get like 50% of that paid for, but up to like $50,000 maximum one-time use, or these are very minor, and it takes like a year to get. Yeah, it's nice that they're there, but yeah, it's pretty minor stuff. So that's it. You make a bad call, you don't take some insurance, and you get a bad year like this, you're done. She's over. But you know what the good thing is about a drought? Because I'm a glasses half full kind of guy. You have to be when you're farmers. Is we will use less fertilizer, because all the fertilizer that we used in the last couple of years, it's still in the ground. It's had no rain to go anywhere, and there's no crop to use it. So we'll have a lot of that back in there, which means you'll have a very, very small fertilizer bill than we did this year, and we will next year. So, and Mike, how do you know that? How do you know what's left in the ground? It's a really good question, because we soil sample. We're only targeting whatever our average yield is. Let's say it's 40. So then you need to know what a 40 bushel wheat crop what does a 40 bushel wheat crop need for nutrients? How much macros does it need? How much micros does it need? And then you need to soil test your ground and see what's out there. Because maybe if you need, let's just say if you need like 100 pounds of nitrogen, but you have 80 pounds of nitrogen still left in the ground, well, then you only need a 20-pound difference, right? So that's the benefit of a drought. You get to bring your inputs down. Thank goodness. So anyways, we just keep chugging along. Mike, what do you think next year's going to bring for dry weather and so on and so forth? I have no idea. I actually didn't think that we were going to get 3 in a row, you guys. That one caught us off guard too, because we actually went in. We were, we're thinking that historically in the past, when the drought breaks, it normally really breaks. It's normally like full circle, 180, going the other direction, won't stop raining, 60 bushel crops. You're fighting the rain. You can't hardly get your seed in the ground, and that's how it started. We were like, "Whoa, man! It's been a lot of rain. We kept getting rained out for seed and lots of stocks." We're like, "This is it. She's gonna rain all year. Put some more fertilizer in. I think we're not gonna go for the average 40. I think we're getting a 60. It's easily done. I've cut 80 bushel crops down here. We're going for a 60. Let's increase our fertilizer. We'll increase our seeding rate. You're spending more money." And then the tap turns off. And it's like, ouch, ouch, ouch. Dang, I wish I wouldn't have done that, but you don't know. It's very rare you get 3 in a row, 3 bad ones in a row. It's always been, historically, it's 2 and then it gets better, 2 and then it gets better, but 3. So does that mean, if we're going to play the odds, does that mean that we're in for a really good one next year? Well, I don't know now. Everyone's a little gun shy. So, anyways, that's a whole other video, a whole other talk about. I have bored you guys enough, so I will catch you guys on the flipper, and that's kind of how we survive. Try and make wise decisions. Every farmer does. Try to make wise decisions. Bring your fertilizer bill down. Maybe you won't put that grassy chemical out on the wheat. Save 20 bucks an acre there. Maybe save 10 bucks over here, or 20 bucks over there, or 100 bucks an acre on fertilizer. It's your inputs. You've got to control your inputs. So you can't do anything about your combine and air drill payments, shop payments, labor. All the guys are still going to be working here. You can't do anything about that. The thing that can be controlled is your inputs. You got to control your inputs. Maybe back your seeding rate down. That will save on your price of seed. And then at the end of the day, that's all you can do. That's all you can do. So we're internal optimists. We have to be. So we're next year. It's next year, country. We're next year. Next year, we're going to have a great year, so stay tuned for that. So anyways, you guys have yourself a good one. I got to get to work. Everyone's just kind of watching while I'm not doing anything. I haven't hooked up my header yet and so on and so forth, so I got to get going. So I'll catch you guys on the flipper. Adios, amigos. See you later.